Hey guys, I'm making an impromptu video. Hurricane Irma has daycare closed again, which is fine. Yesterday was great. My husband and I were both off, but today I am at home with the baby, who is frantically crying in his crib because he does not want to take a nap, but it's totally nap time. Anywho, I was punching some pages, some inserts that I made for a recipe book. As much as I wanted to buy the Happy Planner recipe book, and don't get me wrong, right now it is $13.99 at Michael's. Totally will link that product page below. But that $13.99 does include like the stamps and the stickers, not the stamps, the magnets, the post-its, all that fun stuff. Totally almost bought it yesterday because I've been fighting with these insert pages for probably 2 weeks now. When it works on one side, it doesn't work on the other. When it doesn't work on one side, then it definitely doesn't work on the other. I just wanted something really simple, and as much as I liked the Happy Planner recipe pages, using, obviously looking at the pictures online, which are actually very small and I wish they were larger, but anywho, the whole other issue, I wanted something really simple. I didn't really care to have that big column, really wasn't that big, but that column on the side with main ingredients and prep time and, did I like it, yes or no, rate it 5 stars, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. I know that I'm not going to. I wanted recipe name, which is a really big block that I've created. Oops, sorry, really big block I've created. Could have made that smaller, but it doesn't matter. I want ingredients, directions. Really wasn't going to add a notes area, but I did because I didn't need this whole thing for ingredients. Now that I'm looking at it, this one line, guys, this one little line is darker than all the rest of them. But you know what's crazy is that's not like that on all the pages. Oh, looks like it's just like that on the front, because I did have 2 separate files, a front and a back, because I was struggling with margins. Whole other user error for InDesign. Guys, I'm new to InDesign, so I'm new to this. But I have, as much frustration as I had with designing these pages, I loved it. But anyway, I got almost all the way through. I only printed like 60 pages. Actually, I printed 62. These 2 I can't use. Well, 1, this guy doesn't even have a front, so I can't use him. But 2, after I punched him, I realized I punched him on the wrong side of the page. Should have been punched over here, and I could at least salvage this one, but hey, I'm not, no skin off my back, right? Just 2 pages that I won't be using, so there's no big deal. Of all the pages that I wasted, I'm not worried about those 2. I did get these custom cut because I was struggling with crop lines when I was using an 8.5 by 11 sheet, because when you cut it this way and then this way, then you lose the crop line to get this right and this right. And I guess if I had it left aligned or right aligned, it would work better, but again, whole other issue. I just wanted to show you guys the punch and these rings and my whole DIY recipe book that I'm making. I don't have my cover because of the hurricane. Things were delayed. I'm really hoping it comes in today. Purchased one on Etsy. I will link it below because I absolutely love it. I'm making my own dividers. I have one printed out. I will show you guys that one. Oh, that was my other thing. I looked at other recipe books, and the reason why I chose to do this system is because the spiral bound ones, or they're nice, or any of the other bound ones are great. They're pretty, but for my family, we don't necessarily need an even number of pages per category, right? I don't necessarily need 20 recipes for entree, dessert, miscellaneous, pasta, etc., etc., etc. Because it's just not how my family eats. My husband's not a vegetable person. I'm not a big meat person. So sometimes we may actually have more recipes for one versus the other. Sometimes you know what? I only have like maybe 1 or 2 pasta recipes, even though I love pasta. So I don't need 20 pasta recipe pages that I could use in another section. So that's why the ARC system was perfect, because what I can do is I can say, okay, you know what, this batch right here, I don't need these pages in this category. I'm going to put it in this other category. Or I can just move pages. Oh, I ran out of pages here. Let me move it to this other section, because, well, that's just how life is, right? You don't have time for one thing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so let's move it to 4. Not exactly the same scenario, but you see what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't always have a set number of recipes for this category. Sometimes you want to move those pages to another section. So that's what I've done. Which brings me to, that was my other issue with buying some of the divider's already set, right? I didn't necessarily need a slow cooker recipe. My husband doesn't like the slow cooker. I love it because I cook. He doesn't because, well, he's a weirdo. And maybe, you know, I didn't necessarily want entree meat recipes. I kind of wanted to separate mine out by beef, pork, chicken, seafood, which I have very little in the seafood area, but seafood nonetheless. Desserts, breakfast, still debating on the breakfast guy, because there's only a few things I want. Those breakfast recipes may go into the miscellaneous one that I'm using, you know, so there's like 8 or 9 sections that I'm going to use. I hope, because what I was working with before wasn't working. So, because what I was doing was, first I had a traveler's notebook insert. Well, I didn't like having to flip through, or I need that one recipe, but it's not really categorized, and I have my table of contents, but that still kind of sucks, because I'm still having to flip through. To find the one chicken recipe amongst all the pork recipes, or whatever. Or, you know, maybe I just didn't like having to flip through it, even though I had the page numbers. Nor did I like having to manually handwrite all the page numbers in there. Second thing I tried was, well, shoot, I've got my bullet journal with me. Let me just write this recipe down because it worked, right? I'm looking at the recipe on my phone. Cook it. Husband likes it. That means it's good to go to keep making. So let me write it down in my bullet journal because I have that with me at all times, or most times. Well, dang it. What happens when I finish up that bullet journal? I've got to remember which bullet journal I wrote that one particular recipe in. Because I'm not going to carry it over every time. I'm just not. So, granted, I'm still in that particular bullet journal, because now it's not a bullet journal, it's just a journal. I don't want to have to go through my bookshelf and find that one notebook that has that one recipe. So what I wanted was something that is going to be an actual recipe book. I wanted to go ahead and get these punched, because that's the hardest part. This punch is great. I have complaints with it because it gets stuck sometimes, and you can only do like maybe 4 sheets. And I'm using 24-pound paper. Next time I'm probably going to use something heavier. I think I've read some people on Etsy use 34-pound. Seems kind of thick because I have some cardstock that's probably got to be around that, and it's really thick. It's actually what I use for my habit tracker. You know, I mean, this guy versus here. This guy over here, he's floppy. He's not so floppy. And then if you look at, you know, a blank, this guy's floppy. This guy's a little bit more floppy. So the Happy Planner's got to use some slightly thicker paper. They're not using 24-pound, and they're not using copy paper, which is 20-pound. I asked the guy that we use where I work for our printing, and his notebooks, which I thought, or his notepads, I thought they felt like they were the same paper. He's using 60-pound paper, which is actually the same or similar to 24-pound paper, weight quality-wise. I'm not sure. There's something in the production or that makes it 60 pound versus 24. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's just go ahead and get on with this. So, counting out, obviously I'm almost done. So let's see, I've got 3. I've been doing 4 pages, which, oh, by the way, again, I'm trying to get my son to take a nap, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep him awake, because this is loud. Oh, real quick. I had to mark, you see the little Sharpie line? Because this was too far. These lines right here, the white one was too far away. It wasn't where I wanted it to go. So I used my Sharpie to make that closer to where I wanted it. And I wanted to make sure I got it in the same spot every time. So this is a 2-hand project. Once you get it, it's fine. But if you don't hear that, it's like almost like a multiple snap. If you don't hear it snap in multiple places, you didn't get it. Earlier I had the whole thing locked up, which sucks. Because then you gotta sit there and fight it a little bit. I thought about getting just a few pages left in this. This is just 2 pages. You can see the difference. But not just a one-hander for that one. I thought about getting the We Are Memory Keepers punch board, because it comes with, well, actually it comes with the 3 punches for the different binder and rings. You'd have to buy the arc punch separately, but I don't know, I just feel like it would be too much. I'd have to play with it, because you can only do 6. And for this project, I need 9 holes, because I'm doing the classic planner 7 by 9¼ size. So I'd have to do 6, and then I'd have to hope I lined up the next 3 just right and punch it again. Although I have heard their punch is better. But anywho, so that's all it is, and I did it, again, this is 60 pages. I'll probably print some more, because as you can see, this is a 1-inch, it's actually just the Staples arc. Here. It comes in 12. I only need a 9, but it's nice to have the 12. I think they were like $4 maybe. Some of them are kind of expensive on Amazon, so you kind of got to watch, or you got to hope you can get them on sale or something. But I don't know, they'll work. And I actually have some from where these are 1.5s. Oops, sorry, these are 1.5s. But the 1-inch is great. So this is 60 pages, give or take, so at least 120 recipes. I want to stop here until I get my dividers put in, which they're definitely not going to take up all that extra space. So anyway, let me go get my divider and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm right back. I went and got my divider. The only one that I've actually made is for the beef, because I was trying to line it up, because again I had issues. Personal or technical difficulty on user error side. This is actually not the divider I'm going to use, because I cut this paper at 7 by 9¼ which is the size of my paper. But then I realized I'm not going to be able to see the tab. And I want to be able to see the tab because I want to be able to flip through it. So I'm going to keep this. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I may just use this part, use my paper cutter and slice that for some other kind of bookmark or something, because that's a great bookmark. But here's my thing, right? I'm going to just get my label maker, or even maybe I'll just handwrite beef. But I got this on Adobe Stock. It actually was like a set of 3, so I have the pig and the chicken too. In the back, same thing. Again, you see it's really close. But I did print it again with 7.5 wide by 9.25 tall, so that way my tab will stick out. But there was no reason to bring that one in there. So this is, it'll sit, once I punch it, it in theory would sit like this. But as you can see, it's going to be flush. So that's why the 1/2 inch will help keep that poked out. So anyway, I'm in love with this. So again, I have the cuts for the pig and the meat cuts for the chicken. I actually have for the seafood page, I'm going to get a shrimp and a crab, I think. I don't really eat crab, nor do I cook crab, but it was really cute and I figured why not, because I've got some free credits. I think there was a fish too. I think I'm going to get the fish. It wasn't as cute. It wasn't like filet and it's the only cut that I know. So, but it wasn't like that. But it was like, top meat, back meat, tail, whatever. So I'm going to use that and I'll just kind of, stagger it around. The dessert ones is going to be fun. I've already started that one. I actually think it's done. It's a pie, a cupcake, and a cookie. Oh, it was a cookie that I didn't like. It was too thick. So I'm going to have to play with that in Photoshop probably. But anyway, it's my divider. I'm pretty stoked about it. I can't wait. And I will probably post a short video of the completed project once my dividers are all made, my cover is there, before I actually start writing them. Because honestly, I'm scared to start writing. Because it's taking me 2 weeks to get these dang pages working. But the only thing I can say is, like I said, this is 24-pound paper. There is a little shadowing. You can see where it's not quite lined up. You can see in the header up there, it's not quite lined up, but that's okay. When you lay it flat, you can still see a little shadowing. That's why if I were to do it again, which I'm not going to, at least not today, not until I finish all these freaking things, which I only have maybe 10 recipes, let's be honest. But once I fill it all up, maybe on book 2, I'll get a thicker paper. So yeah, that's all I got. Next video is going to be how I made the divider. I'm sorry, yeah, well, not the divider, but the tab. So I'm super excited. Here's the handy tool. It's We Are Memory Keepers tab punch board. So stay tuned for that video. Otherwise, please like this one. Subscribe for more videos. Leave me a comment. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye.